We had 8 themes. One theme was Astha, which conveyed faith. Faith in the soil of our country. So we accessed soil from every state and union territory of the country. Most of them were in the traditional crafts of their state, but a few states did not have pottery or we could not access it. So we actually sent people out to get the soil from those states, from river beds and even the outside of the Andaman jail. The Andaman jail was depicted in a little window with a lock on it to talk about the significance of that place. We have also accessed a beautiful teapot in clay made in Ladakh. It is something that hardly anybody knows about, and a single family makes it halfway up a tall mountain. We are so proud to have accessed things which nobody knows and is from everywhere, because now this is truly the soil of India depicted here. We gave no designs, and the craftspeople have put their heart and soul into sending the pieces to us, and they even say that it feels as if they are in Parliament themselves. The pride that the artisans have in this project is something that we should be extraordinarily proud of. We had, in some cases, designers and artists working to put the craft pieces together. Here, Puneet Kaushik devised this design, which is sort of like a crucible. India holding in its palms the soil of its country. We have also Rudraksh, which is a bead necklace, which is used by many religions. But the idea is that even if we have the bead Rudraksh, it has to be made in clay. And above all religions, which we have faith in our own religions, we should have faith in the soil of our own country. You saw the pictures as they were being prepared. The final works came together like this. Swavlamban means self-reliance. Gandhiji gave the highly symbolic charkha to us, whereas Emperor Ashoka had given us the chakra. From an emperor's chakra, we converted it into Gandhiji's charkha. Charkha being symbolic of all the self-reliance that we wanted our country to stand upon. We created this in Ajrak block printing with some sequin embroidery. The blocks were made freshly of these spinning wheels, and each one is completely different from the other. The block printing was done in Ajrakpur in Kutch, and the sequin embroidery is famous in Delhi, so we got very fine sequin embroiderers and sequin jari workers who work on something called an adda. The designer here was Shelly Jyoti. She's a textile artist who sat in Ajrakpur and had these pieces made according to her idea and her design, the concept being given by the Dastakari Haat Samiti. The Ajrak pieces were highlighted by tiny sparkling mirrors and sequins, so it gave it a little bit of shine and glamour. This is the adda, which is a small semi-loom-like object which is kept on the floor and worked from on top and underneath. Men and women both do embroidery and adda work, and it's a collective enterprise in which a design is planned, marked out on khakas, placed on the adda and then done. With an ari, which is like a crochet hook. final works come together like this. Ullas to convey happiness. And when thinking of how do we do it, we thought of the mother's happiness in having a child and then spending her life wishing for the happiness of that child. So we decided to get 40 women's groups from across the country, individual women also in their homes and otherwise organized groups. And since all of them had their own special identities, the embroideries show that this is the greatness of India, that identity is so important and it's always reflected in craft forms. The colors were selected and sorted into a blue story and a red story, so that it doesn't show really boy and girl, but it just sorted the colors that way. Each one was marked individually and threads were given for the embroidery, but every woman was asked to do their own idea of how they depict happiness for their child and for their futures. So they came up with very interesting things like balloons, because the daughter loved balloons. They had the cow and the calf, they had pregnant women, they had birds to show happiness. Everyone did what came into their hearts. So it is a co-creation between the idea we gave them, but their hearts and creative expressions came out. And in between both of these stories, we had the Chamba Rumal embroidery of men dancing in a true feeling of happy celebration. Prakriti or nature can have many descriptions. In India, we worship nature, but we also remember in our traditional thought forms that nature includes everybody. None of us are separate from the other as a living being, whether it's the plants or the animals, flora, fauna, people, anybody, they're all part of the great big universe. We each have a bit of the cosmos in us. For the first time, Sanji was asked to depict through paper cut, very fine scissors and paper. That's all that the artisans use. They are given the design and then they cut like this. It took about 3 months to do this, 5 pieces, and they show people in a normal form, people walking out of a forest, depicting freedom in one sense, and also how the traditional epics depict people who have gone into exile in the forest and come out into celebration. These are lace-like patterns which are formed just with scissors and paper, and any little mistake or tear in the paper will ruin the entire piece. So you can imagine how much work, how much delicacy and fineness goes into this art of Sanji. These 5 panels came together inside Parliament, with 2 having gold at the back and the rest shining through. Samrasta, which means unity in diversity in a way. We thought of using the printing blocks from all over the country. Each form of block printing everywhere in India have their own blocks and pattern designs, some of them kept over hundreds of years by the family. When they get destroyed, they create them again. So block makers, the carvers, are as important as the printers and the dyers. In fact, everyone involved in creating a beautiful piece of textile. These blocks were freely given by craftspeople across the country. We asked them to give 5 pieces. Some gave more, But all of them, of course, who were paid, were happy to be again a part of Parliament. Along with the blocks which show the carvings of many parts of India, we also had places where they don't have printing blocks but do have carving, like Kashmir. So many places like Mysore, inlay, and the walnut carving of Kashmir is also featured here. All the combination of blocks were merged with metal work from all over the country. So we have copper, brass, the Ashtadhatu, all kinds of metals are put together in forms that are very interesting, because there can be a woman who is reading, or you can have a vessel that is for cooking. You can have a lock and key, a fish. Every form of metal work that's done in India is done in a different way. So we've put them all together in a depiction of unity in diversity, and the whole installation comes together in a dramatic presentation of mystery, traditional art and design. Parv means festivals. There are so many festivals in India. In Bengal, they say that there are 13 festivals for the 12 months. But everywhere in India, prominent communities have special times and special celebrations. And all these can be depicted in art. So Parv is formed on a shape which is a kavod, which is a mobile storytelling device of Rajasthan. But we converted it here into something like an art gallery. And we have prominent festivals there, like Buddha Jayanti, which is being painted here. This is Ganesh Chaturthi, that is done in Orissa. Each one of the 10 festivals are in a different style by a different artist. Special brass hinges keep the kavod together, and the form itself is purely traditional. And the central piece, which you will see, is the Amrit Kalash in the Tanjore art, which is depicting the Amrit Utsav. All the different forms of art merge together beautifully without any disharmony, and all the artists worked from their homes and took at least 2 months to do each work. They have done their very best, highly qualified artists, and the work that comes together is a celebration of India's traditional art, festivals, and design. This piece was mounted onto the wall in Parliament. Here you see it standing. And here it is as it looks on the Parliament wall. Gyan can mean many things: knowledge, wisdom, to be acquired by education, literacy. And I don't think anyone can acquire wisdom without learning to read and write. And listening and hearing words of wisdom from gurus. The words of India and the scripts of India, the knowledge of India is so great that even though we have 700 plus languages, here we have depicted 22 official languages of India using calligraphy and even added braille, calligraphy of all forms, and also wood carvings, script forms, alphabets, and various other forms of print material. We've started with birch bark, palm leaf, and various other materials to show progress in writing and printing techniques as well as the languages of India. We created calligraphic alphabets and sent them to traditional artists across the country who embellished them as they liked. All this comes together in a major collage called Gyan. Yatra means journey in many ways. Journey through life, a journey down the river, and a journey through centuries and civilizations. We conveyed the idea of yatra by taking Banaras, because Banaras, Varanasi as it's known, is one of the oldest continuously living cities. So we wanted to combine the ancient antiquity of Varanasi and the Indian civilization, which was unbroken, and put it together to depict the great ghats at Varanasi and the Ganga. The ghats were made and woven in silk and gold and silver zari. It took over 3 months, and it required a huge process of photographing each section of the ghat, drawing it on a graph, converting that graph into what is called a khaka, or a jacquard, a card of jacquard, which each one is punched, and according to that the loom moves the thread. All this takes a lot of time. The khakas for any one piece is usually not more than 15. This had more than 40,000 khakas and is probably a historic piece because it's been never made before. Along with that, we had golden zari text telling you what I said at the beginning, that Banaras is continuously living city and the Indian civilization is unbroken, and also explaining that the ghats have a sacred arc from which anywhere that you stand, the sky and the being and the sun and the sun's rays and the water all create a straight line. This is a geometric fact found by architects. The 2 feet that are shown is actually the story of how any sacred city is formed. Any Mahapurush standing with 2 feet either side, like here the Varuna and the Assi rivers. In between that is Varanasi. Any place that is created in between these 2 feet turn out to be sacred, and everyone living there is blessed.